Foryze News. Foryze News.
Colorado vs. Texas score. The Texas Longhorns and the Colorado Buffaloes have had some time off and are no doubt ready to hit the field. Bowl season is underway, and the Longhorns and Colorado will compete for postseason bragging rights in the Alamo Bowl at Alamodome at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday. Texas will be strutting in after a win while Colorado will be stumbling in from a defeat. A well-balanced attack led Texas over the Kansas State Wildcats every single quarter on their way to victory 3 weeks ago. Texas took their contest on the road with ease, bagging a 69-31 victory over K-State. The matchup was all but wrapped up at the end of the third, by which point Texas had established a 66-31 advantage. RB Bijan Robinson had a dynamite game for Texas. He rushed for 3 TDs and 172 yards on 9 carries. One of the most memorable plays of the game was Robinson's 75-yard touchdown rush in the third quarter. Robinson's sharp performance set his single-game rushing touchdown high for the season. Meanwhile, the matchup between Colorado and the Utah Utes 2 weeks ago was not particularly close, with Colorado falling 38-21. No one had a standout game offensively for the Buffaloes, but they got scores from W.R. Morris Bell and W.R. Brendan Rice. One of the most thrilling moments was Rice's 61-yard TD reception in the third quarter. A couple defensive stats to keep in the back of your head while watching: the Longhorns are 15th worst in the nation in passing yards allowed per game, with 274.2 on average. To make matters even worse for Texas, Colorado enters the game with only 14 touchdowns allowed, good for 12th best in the nation. A record for threes and 5 more wild stats from the Milwaukee Bucks beatdown of Miami Heat. With their 144-97 win on Tuesday night, the Milwaukee Bucks didn't just beat the Miami Heat, they showered them with an unprecedented flurry of three-point shots, setting an NBA record with 29 long baskets made in their 51 attempts. They tied the previous mark of 27 with just under 8 minutes to go, setting up Sam Merrill to make the record-breaking shot with 6:07 left in the fourth quarter. The Bucks broke the record set by the Houston Rockets at home against the Phoenix Suns on April 7, 2019. There had been 108 previous instances in NBA history of a team attempting 50 or more threes in a regular season game. The Bucks were the first team to attempt 50 threes and shoot 50% or better on those attempts. They made 56.9% on Tuesday. With an assist from ESPN Stats and Information, what were the most interesting numbers to take away from this exposition of long-distance shooting? Miami vs. Oklahoma State score. Number 21 Oklahoma State survived a late rally from number 18 Miami, FL, to take a 37-34 win in the Cheez-It Bowl at Camping World Stadium in Orlando on Tuesday night. Hurricanes receiver Michael Redding was stopped 3 yards shy of the sticks on 4th and 8 with 1:36 to play to essentially end a wild game between the Big 12 and ACC foes. The big story in the game was the play of Cowboys wide receiver Brennan Presley. The 5'8", 165-pound freshman entered the game with just 1 reception on the season but caught 6 passes for 118 yards and 3 touchdowns, the last of which gave the Pokes an 11-point lead midway through the fourth quarter that turned out to be the game-winning score. Presley's impressive performance came in a big spot, too. Wide receiver Tylan Wallace did not play in the second half as part of a predetermined plan by the coaching staff to keep the Cowboys' star wideout protected heading into the NFL draft process. He had 6 catches for 45 yards in the first half. Quarterback Spencer Sanders finished the day 27 of 40 passing for 305 yards and 4 touchdowns to help the Cowboys polish off an 8-3 record. The game was marred by a serious knee injury suffered by Hurricanes quarterback Derek King. Late in the first half, King took off to the right and suffered a non-contact knee injury shortly before diving for extra yards. He was helped to the locker room by trainers and returned to the sideline in the second half in street clothes on crutches with a heavy knee brace on his right knee. Cubs shopping Contreras. As the Cubs continue their teardown, it's fair to expect their players to continue to populate trade rumors. One such Cub doing exactly that is catcher Wilson Contreras, who, according to USA Today's Bob Nightingale, is being shopped extensively. Contreras, 28, has 2 years of team control remaining. He's hit for a 113 OPS plus during his big league career, and this season he graded as an improved receiver, making him more of a well-rounded player. Should the Cubs move Contreras, he would be the second catcher they've dealt this winter. Chicago included backup Victor Caratini alongside Yu Darvish in their trade with the Padres.
You always win when you know the future. Foryze.